Hey guys, Ferris here. I wanted to make a quick video explaining my thought process on Back 4 Blood, my first impressions of the game. I wrote a big fancy script out for this video, but I feel like it'd be better if I just delivered it from my mind. That way it's more raw, more explainable. But a quick introduction to the game first. Back 4 Blood is a 4-player co-op horde shooter game developed by Turtle Rock Studio. They're famous for creating games such as Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2, and Evolve if you kept up to speed with that in any way, shape, or form for some fucking reason because the publisher killed that game. Back 4 Blood is basically just the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead in that regard. But the thing I really wanted to talk about was the positives, the negatives, what I think needs to be changed, what I like about Back 4 Blood, things of that nature. So I'll start with the positive first. The thing about Back 4 Blood is it has this system in-game called the card deck system. So basically what it is you create these card deck builds, you mush them together, and you create a build so you can have, say, a melee build, or a shotgun based build, or a sniper rifle based build. What this does essentially is it allows you to play different roles within a squad. Fuck me. What this does is it allows you to play different roles within a squad. So, say for instance, you could have either a squishy frontliner who destroys enemies with a single blast of their shotgun, or alternatively, you can continue to play a shotgun build, but you can be a more beefy, tanky, kind of durable frontline shotgunner. And there's a lot of room to play around with concepts like this, which is really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the developers can come up with when it comes to the builds and the cards. Hopefully, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, there's a lot of variety and versatility with the card deck system, and I'm hoping a lot of the builds are viable on higher difficulties. That's my high hopes, but that's one of the bigger pros for this game. The second thing I wanted to talk about for Back 4 Blood was the gunplay. The gunplay in Back 4 Blood is... It feels really good. Like, for the most part, the gunplay feels good. Specifically, the assault rifles, submachine guns, LMGs, and sniper rifles, they feel really good to play around with. When you shoot them, they feel very weighty. The gun sounds are good, the animations are good, how the ammo system management is like good. I like how there's different kinds of ammo for different kinds of weapons. The gunplay for the most part feels good, and I'll explain the shotguns and the handguns later. They feel good to use as well, however there's a little bit of a cinch with them, which is what I'm going to explain. The last thing I wanted to talk about is the difficulty. I love horde shooters that have a solid amount of difficulty to them, whether it's mechanically or the game's just designed to be hard, like enemies are designed to be difficult to take down, things of that nature. Back 4 Blood is a very punishing game in the sense that when you take damage in-game, you can potentially accrue what is called trauma damage. What trauma damage is it's essentially like kind of like, I would say permanent damage in quotation marks because it's not really permanent. There are ways to get rid of it, but through traditional means of healing, you cannot recover trauma damage, which means that if you get caught in a horde and you get downed, it is far more punishing to do so in Back 4 Blood than in a game like Left 4 Dead, or I would say Killing Floor, but in Killing Floor you just kind of die, right? The difficulty is a huge draw-in for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the game is on release once people learn how all the guns work, how all the perks work, people learn all the strategies, and people start learning Nightmare. Oh, and Nightmare is going to be such a fucking great blast because Nightmare is exactly what it says in the tin. That difficulty is extremely hard, and I hope to God they don't change it. I swear, I hope they don't change it because I want to play Nightmare difficulty with a full group of people, and I want to get my ass handed to me. I don't want it to be like expert in Left 4 Dead where I can single-handedly carry an entire match on my own even though the others aren't really doing much because I know what I'm doing. I really hope it's difficult and everyone has to cooperate so that it will just make it a much more fun experience, honestly, because it'll be something new. That's the main thing. It'll be something new. Now, moving on to the negatives about Back 4 Blood, the first thing I want to talk about specifically is the loot system is very poorly implemented. It's this kind of like, this weird battle royale inventory system, like something you would see of like Apex Legends. So you open a container, and it opens the container up, and it has like gun attachments and ammunition in it. And then the way that it's laid out is, as I said, it's like a very like BR kind of pickup system, like a very BR kind of like loot system. So you can open this container and you can be investigating what all the attachment does, and fucking Joe Schmo just rolls up, fucking picks up all the attachments, doesn't have a fucking scooby what they do, and they're not good on his gun, and then he runs off and he fucking uses them, and you're left with nothing. So it makes it kind of difficult to coordinate, like, picking up certain attachments and things of that nature unless you're, like, using in-game voice chat, which is a huge problem in and of itself. The communication in Back 4 Blood is very, very poor, which moves on to my second part about Back 4 Blood. There is very little in terms of communication for things like items, weapons, ammo, things of that nature. And if you're someone like me who stays in, like, the Europe region, I'm going to be speaking with a lot of people who don't want to speak English, which kind of fucking sucks. So in certain scenarios where, say, for example, if I run out of ammo for my shotgun and I need shotgun shells, there's no way for me to go into my inventory and to request shotgun shells, even though I need that. So I either have to type it out in chat, which they might not understand, or they might not want to even fucking bother listening to what I have to say, either through voice or in text, and I'm left with no shotgun shells. I think a good fix for this, in terms of communications, making pings stand out more, and including some sort of like Apex Legends ping system. So say if you want a certain attachment, you can say, oh, I need an attachment for my gun, which is this, and the attachment goes in this slot, or you can request ammo doing so as well. Kind of like exactly like Apex's ping system, because if you look at the inventory system is very, very similar to Apex's inventory system. It does have that BR kind of look to it, so I'd expect to have some sort of way to request ammunition through the inventory system. That would be a very good start to the change. The second thing I wanted to talk about was the shotguns and the handguns. I know, I said that the gunplay in Back 4 Blood felt really good, and for the most part it does feel really good. However, shotguns are weird. Shotguns suffer from what I like to call Call of Duty syndrome. If you don't know what Call of Duty syndrome is, if you've ever played a Call of Duty game and you've ever used a shotgun in Call of Duty, then you know the aiming down sight tightens the spread for no fucking conceivable reason at all. You just squint down the iron sights of a shotgun and suddenly it shoots a slug. Like, it makes no fucking sense. But not only is that problematic, the game has damage fall off for some reason, and I don't quite understand why? I found this out when I was fucking around in the firing range using the shotguns and the handguns, because I really like the handguns and the shotguns. If you know me in Left 4 Dead, you know I always used a pump shotgun and I always used the Desert Eagle. It was like my go-to loadout was chrome pump shotgun and Desert Eagle. In Back 4 Blood, the majority of the handguns and the shotguns suffer from horrendous damage fall off, so you can be shooting something beyond 5 meters, 5 to 10 meters with a shotgun or a handgun, and it'll do like half damage. It's insane how quickly the damage falls off. So not only is it insane how quickly the damage falls off, it makes the shotguns and the handguns feel really pathetic at ranges. And it feels kind of bad to say. And I'm not even talking about like shooting a zombie from like 100 meters away with a 9mm handgun. Like, obviously you're expecting like the gun to do less damage at that point, but if I'm shooting a zombie within like 10 meters with a 9mm handgun, I'm expecting it to do more damage than that. The last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of the negatives is I like the design of the special infected in this game. I think the special infected in this game are really well designed. I think the snitches are well designed. I think the hawkers are well designed. I think the retchers are well designed, if a little bit on the weak side, but the tall boys, oh my god, the fucking tall boys. I don't know what went through their head when they designed the tall boys, but they're like chargers on fucking crack, man. Like, they are literally chargers on steroids and crack and speed all at the same time. They're fucking insane. They are incredibly tanky. They have incredibly hard to hit weak spots. They have this weird floaty wave dash nonsense as if they're fucking Fox mains from Super Smash Bros. Melee, and they travel like 10 feet instantaneously doing so, easily closing your concernable gap between them. It's insane to me how fucking strong they are, and from what I've seen, they don't have this problem in PvP. They're not as tanky as they are in the campaign as they are in PvP. They're extremely tanky in the campaign. The AI tall boys are absurdly tanky. And this goes on to another point. I like the difficulty of Nightmare mode. When you're throwing hordes of tall boys at me who are also armored, so their weak spots take no damage until the armor is broken, it becomes incredibly frustrating to deal with them, especially when you have to deal with a horde of 3 to 4 tall boys every 3 to 4 minutes. I like that they're there. They're obviously there to fill the roles of chargers, or the big beefy tanky boys that take a good couple of bullets to go down, but holy fucking shit, you have to mag dump these motherfuckers. And this problem is only multiplied when you take into consideration how fucking piss poor the damage fall off on the shotguns and handguns are. So, what would I do to fix the issues that I currently have with Back 4 Blood? The first thing I would do is I would make damage fall off far more generous for all the weapons, including the handguns and shotguns. The handguns and shotguns are the ones that suffer from this problem the most. It makes them feel really, really bad to use sometimes, because when you're like up close and shooting shit point blank with like the Remington, it feels good, like shit gibbs. But when I'm shooting like a common like across the other end of a room for me, and this motherfucker takes like 2 to 3 shotgun shells to kill, or like half a handgun magazine to the face, I'm just kind of like, bro, what the fuck is going on here, you know? But another thing I would fix, which is also partly to do with the damage fall off being so absurd in this game for the shotguns and handguns, is tall boys need to be less tanky. I don't know how to do this. I don't know the best way to fix this. Maybe give them like some sort of like startup animation for like their fucking floaty wave dash chargy thing. Something like that along the lines would be a good start. I don't want to say lower their health. That was my initial idea, was make them less tanky, but at the same time, if you do that, they kind of fail to perform their role as being kind of beefy. So I'd say the thing I would do is I would have them like give them like some sort of like startup animation for like their charge, essentially. That's my suggested change for now. The last thing in terms of changes is, I mentioned this one before, more pings and callouts in the menu, in the inventory menu. If I'm running out of shotgun shells, I want to be able to ping my shotgun shell counter and have my character go, "Gentlemen, I require some shotgun shells, please." You know, like, give me something that allows me to request for things, either if it's like throwables, consumables, ammo, attachments. Give me an inventory ping system like an Apex. Oh, and one last thing that I forgot to mention, the ping system needs to be better. It just flat out needs to be better. It needs to stand out more, and the character voice lines need to be better to help signify what your pings stand for. I think that would be super helpful as well. This last point that I'm going to talk about as well, while I like the concept of trauma damage, I feel like there should be more ways to like recover trauma damage, if that makes sense. In the current state of the game, medkits are kind of shit. Like, they're really, really bad. Like, nobody sees a medkit and nobody picks that shit up because it's just not worth it. Because it doesn't heal any trauma damage, and it heals like, I think it's like 75 health base or something. But by the time you need to use the medkit, you've acquired so much trauma damage that it becomes wasteful in a way, so nobody wants to use them. I think a good way of fixing this would be to have medkits heal like a very small percentage of trauma damage if you go over, you know, like if it's wasteful. So say if you have like 60 HP maximum because of trauma damage, and you use the medkit, then I think the medkit should recover like either like 20% of the excess amount. So if you're at 40 HP and you heal with a medkit up to 60, it would take the 20 of the 75, and it would take the 55, and it would slice it in half, and then it would give you like about like what, fucking that's like what, 28 trauma health recovery. It would give you its trauma health recovery, and it would not give you its flat HP. So you would not get that HP back. You would still have to heal that HP back up, but it will no longer be trauma. I think that would be a good change, and I think that would make the medkits more usable, and it would make them more enticing to use in the game, because right now nobody wants to use them because everyone just uses pain pills. Pain pills are the meta right now, at least from what I experienced when I was playing the game. Bandages and pain pills were the only things that people used. So, what do I think of Back 4 Blood? I like the game. I really, 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 really do like the game. I think it's a very, very good game. I know, I've just kind of like gone on a big fucking rant about all the things I don't like about the game, but I still think the game is very, very good. It's a very enjoyable game. I look forward to what the developers come up with the card deck system. I look forward to like the kind of builds that people can come up with. I think that sort of thing is very exciting. Excited to see what kind of builds people come up with. I'm looking forward to create my own builds. And I think, outside of me being excessively pernickety, I think the game definitely has a place in the horse shooter genre. I think Turtle Rock has done a very good job with this game. I think they've done a very good job marketing this game, but not only have they done a good job marketing this game, they've done an amazing job conveying the fact that they are still good game developers. They still have the same passion in game development that they've had since they made Left 4 Dead. It's not gone. if any of you paid attention to kind of like the whole Evolve debacle, Evolve was initially intended to be a PvE experience. It was not intended to be an asymmetrical 1v4. The publishers wanted Evolve to be pushed as a competitive game, and so Turtle Rock kind of lost their like initial idea of making a game that felt fun. You know, they suddenly had to worry about balance and all these other things. And I feel like because they're not being pressured to push Back 4 Blood in kind of like a competitive environment, I feel like Back 4 Blood is going to be a very good and a very successful game in terms of horde shooters, and I do genuinely look forward to it. If they fix the problems that I have with the game, and again, it's me being pernickety, I'm still going to play the fuck out of the game. It's still a very, very good game. I still thoroughly enjoy my time playing it both in the alpha and the beta, and I don't think it's going to change when I play the full release next month. But if they change like the very small issues I have with the game, I feel like I will enjoy the game so much more than I already do, and it will be one of the best horde shooters I have ever played. Again, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about is mostly just quality of life stuff, such as better ping systems, you know, making the guns feel less shit at ranges, you know, things of that nature. I really like this game. I feel like this game is going to do well. And I'm going to stop rambling now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you want to catch me anywhere, you can catch me on twitch.tv/Ferris, and I will see you boys later. Have a nice night. Thanks for watching.